Hey guys, David here. Welcome to Digital Outlook, where you're gonna find the best community in all of crypto. In today's video, we're gonna show you how Ripple could come to the rescue of FTX investors. So guys, without further ado, why don't we get to it? So guys, watching this whole FTX thing play out is literally like watching a blockbuster movie in real time. I mean, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if SBF and his family are negotiating the movie rights to this thing as we speak. I mean, you got everything going on in here. You got some sex going on, you got lies going on, you got the government involved, you've got a big whopping global blowout of finances there. I mean, you've got everything it takes. There's mystery, deception, you name it, it's all included. But guys, the thing that seems to be missing the most in this whole story when you talk about all the people that are being affected, and I was just watching today that whole deal going on in Congress, and it just seems to me the political powerball that's being played here is just, oh, how can we avoid this, and what regulation can we slap on, and da-da-da-da-da. And it almost seems like it's perfectly scripted for these guys, and may very well have been. But the thing that bothers me the most, and the thing I think about the most, are the rank and file that have been truly wounded by this whole ordeal, and that were just sucked in like crazy into this deal. And now we've got this massive insolvency and this major bankruptcy to deal with, and the implications of folks that were burned in this, the small fries, getting paid back. Well, this, guys, is something where I think Ripple could eventually come in and actually be a knight in shining armor. What am I talking about? Well, guys, there are a number of assets that FTX had held in multiple subsidiaries and organizations and companies down the line that are completely solvent and still have marketability. And Ripple had come out early on and said, hey, look, we may be interested in some of these assets. And if you think about it, guys, there's no small wonder why. The Ripple ecosystem has just been growing like crazy. And there are definitely some high value properties that are underneath the FTX umbrella. And the benefit is this: when those assets get sold off, those the funds that the amounts that are actually gained from the sale of those assets form part of the estate that can be distributed to all of these individuals that were so badly hurt by this whole debacle that's going on with FTX. And if Ripple actually comes in and they've got $1 billion sitting in cash, and they could easily come in and acquire some of these assets, building out the Ripple ecosystem and utilizing them in such a way so that, folks that have been hurt by this can benefit from the proceeds of the sale of those assets. So for me, I look at this and I say, hey, this is where Ripple, now imagine this. Ripple right now is being just hounded by the SEC as being a quote unquote paying off an unregistered security. Meanwhile, you had Gary Gensler, whining and dining SBF practically, and having him over there. I mean, how many meetings did Gary Gensler have with SBF over the last year? It is truly amazing. And yet, right underneath their noses, the greatest fraud perpetrated on a global scale in the history of finance. We're talking $8 billion. This guy makes Madoff look like Mickey Mouse. It's absolutely obscene. And yet, they're chasing after Ripple for an unregistered security. You have got to be kidding me. In fact, the way I look at it is this: Ripple can turn out to be the true salvation of this whole entire space, because guys, when they win this case on legal grounds, mind you, on the fact that there was no ICO whatsoever, nothing fraud, and that's something to point out here, guys. There is no fraud allegations whatsoever with respect to this whole deal with Ripple. The SEC has not pursued one allegation of fraud, either against Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, David Schwartz, none of them. And that is something to really keep in mind. Now, having said that, Ripple gets clarity, guys. then we have a construct to work with respect to going forward in this digital asset space. Now, you watch and see if what happens here has to deal with, look, regulations that make it so that, hey, you have to be stateside in order to do thus and such, because one of the big complaints is, hey, you've got SBF out there being registered in the Bahamas, and we didn't have oversight with them here in the way in which we should have. And so now you watch and see if they don't do that. And I just heard that Canada today has actually put the kibosh on any leverage trading happening in Canada with its citizens. So crypto exchanges are not even going to be able to offer leverage trading in Canada. And that is a major, major deal. You're going to see that kind of regulation in this space within the United States. And on top of that, guys, you're going to see a lot of these big players, all the JP Morgans, the Goldman Sachs, the BlackRocks, the big boys, they're going to come in. And they are literally going to adopt all of these various exchanges, that is my belief, and bring this into where they always wanted it to be, right with the big boys, right with these guys that have been there all along. Do you think that they're going to allow these new startups to come in and divide what they know to be the absolute future of financial markets? I mean, Larry Fink literally came out there and told us that, hey, the next evolution of these markets is the tokenization of securities. Do you honestly believe they're going to allow Kraken and Coinbase and Uphold and these kind of exchanges to push them out, including the FTXs? Not a chance, guys. I think they knew that FTX was a Ponzi scheme for a long, long time, but they allowed it to go on. They allowed the balloon to get bigger and bigger and bigger so that when it did burst, it would send such an impact across the whole digital asset space that they would use that as their golden opportunity. Remember, don't let a good crisis go to waste for them to come in and just basically take over this whole space and bring it right under the purview of all of these grandfathered in organizations. And that's what I think you're going to see. Now, how's Ripple going to fare and all that? I think they're going to do an absolute amazing. Absolutely phenomenal. Why? Because they are going to be the only digital asset with genuine clarity. And they're going to be able to demonstrate. Imagine this. And I want you to think about this. When you've thought about all these hacks, all these rug pulls, all this, have you ever noticed there's never been one of them since the very beginning, since before Mt. Gox and on, to where Ripple was hacked and all kinds of XRP was ripped off? You know, the multiple billions, or this happens with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, you name it. Hasn't happened to Ripple, not one time. And guys, that says volumes. So in my mind, I think that this is going to bring out some excellent regulation if we're on top of it and we get out there and we communicate with our legislators about what really would look like a balanced regulatory approach. Because guys, let's be honest, we need regulation in this market, absolutely, zero doubt. We can't have this kind of situation where people are getting duped and robbed and on and on and on, and pension funds and everything with absolutely what looks like impunity. Now we're going to see what really happens with FBF, because to me, it's rather convenient that he gets arrested in the Bahamas when he could have got arrested right here on American soil. And the fact that he's now been denied bail and on, so that, hey, he's not going to be out there to answer to the public. No interviews, guys. Nobody's going to be interviewing SBF anytime soon, that's for sure. And especially when you consider all the politicians that receive these major, major donations. In my mind, guys, I think that what should be happening right now, if I was a politician and I benefited from those donations, those would be going back right quick, I'll tell you what. But at the end of the day, I think for XRP and for Ripple, they could turn out to be truly one of the knights in shining armor, coming in there, buying up some of these assets, turning it around, and being there for a liquidity and actually giving money into the estate that could be distributed to all these folks that have lost their money. Now, that's my opinion. So guys, this is a video I have for you today, and I truly hope that you enjoyed it. Now, if you want to participate in the conversation, well, just drop it right down there in the comments, open it up to the community, and start a discussion. So guys, before you go, I want to remind the community of our Discord server. It is an amazing place where you can meet with other like-minded individuals and talk about all your ideas, thoughts, and suggestions in this entire digital asset space. It's absolutely free, and the link is right down there in the description of the video. Now, something else a lot of folks ask all the time, hey David, where can I buy some XRP? Well guys, I've shared this before, but I don't use an exchange. I use Caleb and Brown. And with these guys, you can get them literally right on the phone talking directly with your broker. And hey, there's no deposit fees, there's no withdrawal fees, there's no custody fees, and they can send your crypto directly to your cold storage wallet. And the only fee that you pay is your trading fee. And hey, they have provided us with a link that you can click right down there in the description, register through that link, and it's only 3.5% on your fees. And guys, I'll tell you what, when things really get going and you see all these other exchanges having issues and you can just pick up the phone and talk to your broker, let me tell you what, that is worth that 3.5% if you ask me. Now, something else, guys, is I have extended our coaching program. And so if you are interested in a one-on-one coaching with me for a 1 hour for $250, where we'll talk about absolutely anything, your exit strategy, your portfolio, any questions that you have in this digital asset space, we can even help you move your crypto from an exchange onto your cold storage wallet. We've done that for a few guys. So if that interests you, just write me right there at coaching@thedigitaloutlook.com, and I'll send you all the information of how we can set it up, and we'll get you booked in. Well, guys, as you know, I'm not a financial advisor, and this isn't financial advice. But if you found value in it, if you'd hit that like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And don't forget to hit that notification bell down there so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that we're uploading. And if you're one of the thousands of people who have been watching these videos, but you haven't yet subscribed, would you do the channel a favor and join this community? We would really love to have you on board. So, in the meantime, and in between time, stay safe, be blessed, and I'll catch you in the next one.